My mic is also way over there. Hello world, and welcome to Minipla Monday. My mic is also way over there. Hello world, and welcome to Minipla. Okay, it helps if I'm not also watching the playback, so it feeds into my audio. Anyway, welcome to Minipla Monday. It's been, I guess, about a week or so since my last stream. In the intervening time, Momocon has come and gone. That was interesting. I broke my phone. I got a couple more model kits, which I will be building on stream. I built a kit at Momocon, so I will show that off when I get a new phone to take good pictures with. I did build the Gundam aerial off camera. I'm sorry, but I'll build some other stuff. I got some exciting stuff at Momocon that I will build on stream. Should have some stuff coming in, so we're not short for content yet. All right, tonight we're going to be building from 2018's Kaito Sentai Lupinranger vs. Keisatsu Sentai Patranger, the X-Emperor. This is the robot belonging to the 6th Ranger, Lupin X/Patran X. He has two forms, one for each team. Both of them know he works for both teams, which I think is, they could have done better with that, but it would have been nice to have a double agent kind of thing going, but they both know he works for both, supports both, yada yada, they just both deal with it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Close this up just so I can show this off. The top of the box has his two Ranger helmets. Lupin X in silver, Patran X in gold. This side is Lupin X, X-Emperor Thunder, and this side is X-Emperor Fire. I believe that is the way that they are changed. It comprises of 5 boxes. X-Train Silver, X-Train Gold, X-Train Fire, and X-Train Thunder. X-Train Gold is split into 2 boxes just because it has a lot of pieces. I have actually already taken the time to paint these gold and silver because I did not like the default plastic colors. So, yeah. I've got some. I'll show you a comparison of the underside of the runners just so you can see how it is. But let's go ahead and get into this build. Let me get some light down here. As you can see, 5 boxes already opened. That's me. I believe I already got pictures of all the contents, so let's get right into it. And let's go and get some background entertainment on as well. The weird side of Disneyland. Or do I want to do Transformers News Roundup? Or do I want to do I Survived 24 Hours in Japan's Coldest Town? I want to do that one. Let's do more abroad in Japan. Like him.
I don't know anybody who's been to Japan's coldest town. You might be surprised to learn it's not even the most northern point of the country. It's a sleepy, landlocked place nestled away in the mountains that once recorded a temperature of -41 degrees Celsius.
Alright, so I was going to show off the difference between the frames. So here is the side that I painted silver. Here's the underside, just for comparison. It's a much duller silver, much less shiny. I used my trustworthy Tamiya TS76 Mica Silver spray paint. That's been my go-to silver paint on several kits now. It's good stuff. So you can see the difference in the silvers here. Put the volume down on this.
It's a remote region that Japan...
I forgot my tools. I started this in such a rush I forgot my damn tools. Hang on. I apologize. We'll be right back. We're off to a great start here, aren't we? Okay, I'm back. Once again, I forgot my damn tools to the damn trade. And of course, all I need to get a bird container for my knife blades. They're now going to be scattered all over my box here. That's not a good thing. Not good to have loose knife blades floating around in my kit. It is generally the opposite of a good thing. That appears to be all of them. Okay. Take these out just because I need those. Alright, shouldn't need this. Might need these. Everything else can go back in. I did also get some new markers, but I will talk about those later. Probably not gonna use them tonight. We'll see what happens. All right, put the tools to the side, and let's get back to the build here.
Japan's own indigenous people, the Ainu, were relocated to 150 years ago. Whether there's anything along the way remains to be seen. Still, the journey's the reward, and exploring uncharted territory is what we do best on Journey Across Japan. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Journey Across Japan, Frozen Frontiers. This morning, we're here in Hokkaido's largest eastern city of Kushiro, or as it likes to call itself, Cool Kushiro. Is it bragging, or is it because it's minus 15 degrees Celsius? You decide. You know, until this trip, I'd never really heard of Kushiro before. It's a very inconspicuous fishing town out here in the middle of nowhere. And for us, it's been more of a jumping off point. Yesterday, we went to the most far eastern point in all of Japan, 2 hours east of here, and then we froze to death, came back here, stayed the night, and now we're using it to jump off and go inland to the coldest town in all of Japan, Nikubetsu. Unfortunately,
Yes,
it's time to say goodbye to the town, hello to the boys. Pretty cool, the river's actually got a layer of ice on it. Speaking of people on thin ice, it's Joey the Anime Man.
What does that mean?
And Natsuki, and American Pete. Hey! So on this episode, we're going to the coldest town in all of Japan, Nikubetsu.
Wait, this isn't the coldest town?
This is not the coldest town.
What cold?
This is like summertime compared to where we're going.
God damn it.
You know, in every season of Journey Across Japan, there's that one episode where we go to some spectacular accommodation, like the best hotel, and that is this episode right now.
Finally! That's what I've been waiting for. No scary?
Not scary. It's going to be amazing. Let's go! Coming up on Journey Across Japan, we wander through a striking indigenous Ainu village with a mouth-watering delicacy. Stay at the most breathtaking traditional inn of our entire trip, complete with an outdoor bath that looks like something out of Star Wars. And we explore Nikubetsu, where Joey and Natsuki draw out half the townsfolk for the most ridiculous rap battle ever committed to video. But first, we leave cool Kushiro behind and set off into the wilderness of northeast Hokkaido, where very quickly the scenery gets spectacular and civilization notably sparse. What are we going to do without 7-Eleven? Oh goodness me. So I've actually been looking forward to this location more than any other on this trip. I've always wanted to come to Lake Akan. It's a very landlocked lake, about 2 hours inland, You know you're going deep in Hokkaido when you don't see a convenience store for more than 1 hour. Even Seiko Mart, the local chain, usually they're everywhere, but not here. And we're driving towards this amazing peak called Mount Neakan, which is often referred to as the Mount Fuji of Hokkaido. It's got that perfect conical shape to it, visually striking, beautiful countryside. The only thing that worries me is, unfortunately, Yoshi is once again back at the wheel. I don't know how we've allowed this to happen. After our lengthy drive inland, we arrive at Lake Akan and immediately head for the Ainu Kota, the traditional Ainu village steeped in the cultural heritage of Hokkaido's indigenous population.
Welcome, Ainu village. Oh yeah, legend. Oh, many history. Complete that.
So the Ainu are the traditional natives that lived in Hokkaido before Japan was established as Japan. They say there's about 25,000 Ainu left, but some people say there's also like up to 200,000 Ainu left, so they're a mysterious group of people. I kind of like to think that the Ainu are like sort of the Vikings of Japan. Like they're, like, you know, the symbolism with the owls and the way that the towns are structured is kind of has that Scandinavian influence, I think. There's a very good manga called Golden Kamuy that's all about Ainu, so I would recommend that.
Many people are unaware that Japan even has an indigenous population. Historically, the Ainu lived around the Sea of Okhotsk, stretching between Siberia, Sakhalin and Hokkaido. And while it's difficult to pin down how long the Ainu people inhabited Hokkaido, the first historical documents mention them around the 15th century, and throughout the Edo era they traded with the mainland. However, in the 19th century, during the Meiji Restoration, as more and more people emigrated north to Hokkaido from mainland Japan, the Ainu were displaced from their traditional lands on the warmer southern coastline to barren mountainous regions in the middle of the island. And due to the wide stigmatization, many kept their ancestry hidden, and as a result today it's difficult to ascertain how many Ainu people truly exist, with the majority having assimilated into cities and towns around Hokkaido. In 2019, the Ainu were legally recognised as an indigenous people of Japan by the Japanese government. Since then, there's been a renewed pride in the culture, language and heritage, and today, traces of the culture are evident everywhere. In fact, Hokkaido's capital city of Sapporo originates from the Ainu word Satporo and het, meaning dry large river, a reference to the Toyohiro River, which flows the length of the city.
Of course, we already hear about places like Kyoto and Nara and the traditional Japanese cities, but I think that Japan should promote things like these Ainu villages and some of the arts and crafts and what the people who used to live in Japan did. Highly recommend if you're in Hokkaido, come give it a visit.
I knew you would trouble when you walked in. It's a really picturesque little town there, actually. You've got the mountain in the background.
Oh wow, I didn't even see
The totems here.
I love the fact that the symbolism for Ainu, I guess, is the owl.
The owl.
Because that's my favorite animal.
Why owl's your favourite animal?
I don't know, I just love birds. And like, I really like owls for some reason. They're really like mythical and like mystical. I don't know, it's hard to describe.
They're very creepy, aren't they?
Yeah,
Just the way they stare, like that. It's as if they're spectating.
yeah, they can see everything.
They see everything. But they're not about to see what I'm going to have for lunch. Do you know what the local food is?
No, enlighten me.
So they eat deer over here.
Oh, deer meat.
Unsurprisingly, given that's all the meat there is, some people might think, oh, nature. Others might say dinner time. I'm in the latter category. And so we head into the cosy warmth of a local restaurant serving up the Ainu delicacy of yaseidon, literally wilderness rice bowl. So Natsuki got this wild rice bowl. It's got deer and wild vegetables in it.
Yeah. Bambi's meat.
Bambi's meat, yeah. I mean, Bambi smells pretty good, not gonna lie.
Kind of pepper.
3 kinds of pepper.
Yeah. Number one, good pepper.
Fresh pepper.
Why. いただきます。お、これはディアス。Wild smell. Forest. In the forest.
Well, it's not anymore, is it? It's in the bowl.
ね、大体このスタイルは豚だと思うんだけど、豚よりなんかこうフレッシュ、優しい。
So this is the bit I've been waiting for. This is very juicy, very fresh deer meat.
Salt
Oh, wow.
and pepper.
It tastes a bit like pork, but chewier.
Juicy.
It's very, very juicy, like a chewier pork. Wow, yeah.
Yukchan yaki and beer.
And beer.
Very great combination.
Well, I guess Natsuki isn't driving anymore. Looks like Ian's back at the wheel.
Well, I'm no stranger to deer meat. I used to be a taxidermist back in the day, so that was the most...
Eat it and then stuff it, didn't you?
You have to save all the meat when you cut out the deer. So we would have freezers full of it, and my uncle was a great chef. But let's see how this stacks up to my childhood deer meat.
Aside for now, I go some outcome later.
Wow, that's really good.
I love coming in restaurants like this in winter though, when it's absolutely freezing outside, right? And then you come in and you get a nice big hot bowl of steaming ramen or curry. We're going to finish this meal, and then we're going to check into our very glamorous accommodation. Given how remote Lake Akan is, we've decided to stay here the night in a sprawling traditional inn along the shores of the frozen lake. Lake Akan itself is a caldera formed by volcanic activity, and the town of Akan is as famous for its hot spring as it is for the Ainu village. But to give us a whirlwind tour of our impressive room, I know just the man for the job. Okay guys, so we're in the room and it is absolutely spectacular. Joey and Natsuki are somewhere deep inside having the time of their lives, and the one person that hasn't seen it yet, the one person who stands to be surprised by it all, is American Pete, who will now give you the grand tour.
I honestly cannot wait.
Look at this cavernous corridor. But then, hit this button.
This is actually in the room right now.
Look behind you and hit the button. There's no escape.
No! I gotta go forward. This is still in the actual Yokon. This is your room.
This is the corridor. And here's the first one.
The first toilet? Of many? Oh, it's just me. Yo! Oh my god. This is insane. This whole thing. With the ice skating rink and the snow sleds and the this is amazing. Yes.
Excuse me, I was just about to have my morning coffee, but perhaps I should show you the rest of the room.
Here's where I sit and have meetings with all of my colleagues and friends. Is there someone in there? It's like...
No.
This is insane.
Oh, that's where they keep the futon.
Check the other one.
Here's Johnny.
That's some kimonos.
Wow, that's nice. And you have like a selection of different colors and things for... Over here, we have the audio-visual room, it looks like. They still have a CD player here, plus a pretty impressive sound system, and just a cool place to like chill out and hang.
It's all about the view there, really, isn't it?
It really is. And this is significantly larger than like almost any sort of Yokon I've ever been in. This is very nice. Let's keep going. Right over here, we have the... Oh my god. What is this? Is this some sort of a barber shop? Don't worry, sir. You've had many haircuts in your time, but allow me to... Little snip, 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 a little... little head massage.
Massage is very important.
Well, this...
It's my body control.
Yeah, well, I'm worried about your...
Have a relaxing time.
Yes, well, you don't worry about a thing. We're gonna let you just go back to bed for a few minutes.
It's a lovely massage chair.
Oh, it's a paradise in Hokkaido. Thank you. This time, Johnny across Japan.
The animation man himself, fully enjoying his own onsen? This is insane!
Nice. Very nice. It gets to minus 20 degrees Celsius tonight here.
Well, even if the top half of me will be minus 20, my bottom half will be 42, nice and toasty.
Top half frostbite, bottom half
3rd degree burns.
succulent and tender.
Biblical.
Well, everyone seems to have had fun in the room but me. Joey had the onsen, Natsuki had a massage chair, and I've walked around like an idiot. But now it's time to spice things up with our challenge of the day. And for that we need our challenge master. Bring him on.
Whoa. I'm back! And I've brought another challenge. And this one promises to be the most difficult one we've had so far.
Right.
Everyone knows about ASO, Too Much Volcano, the number 14 hit on iTunes. But this time, we're gonna make another song. Chris has provided a beat, and this will be a one-on-one rap battle. Oh, that's right. And you only have 24 hours to make it. And the loser has to remove their shirt to the elements and roll around in the coldest town in all of Japan. Good luck, gentlemen. You're gonna need it.
Jesus Christ, that's pretty, it's hard.
2 years ago, when we made the Grammy Award-winning hit song "Too Much Volcano," while Joey was writing the lyrics and Natsuki was conjuring up the chorus, I hastily produced the beat on my phone. But I also made a second unreleased track as a backup option. And in the run-up to their rap battle, it's time to share it with the lads.
I like the little bells. It sounds very winter. And then it gets really serious. Like, this shit's fire. This shit is fire. You heard it here first.
Oh yes, nice. All night long, Hokkaido. Okay. Good idea. I have good idea.
The next morning, we awakened to find the tranquil Lake Aka has suddenly become the busiest place in all of Hokkaido, with hundreds of people travelling north for a weekend of ice fishing and winter sports. I just hope the frozen lake can take it, otherwise it'll be a swift and very cold end to our journey indeed.
So this morning, when we said we wanted to go on the lake, go ice fishing, we were like, "Where's the car park?" The guy was like, "You're on it right now. This lake is the car park." He's like, "It's 50 centimetres deep." So we're on 50 centimetre deep ice over a huge freshwater lake. It's pretty trippy, like seeing all these hundreds of cars around here, right?
Yeah, and the fact that there's so many different activities, you have like slides and fishing and snowmobiles and 150,000 parked cars and 250 people walking on it, actually pretty insane. This is not in America, I'll tell you that.
That could be paint.
Unfortunately, given the 2-hour waiting times, we reluctantly give up. But if you can't go ice fishing, do the next best thing. Break into a tent and pretend you're ice fishing instead. God bless the power of imagination.
Oh, big fish, maybe alligator.
When you can't afford the real fishing rod,
Oh, doing fishing.
you get imaginary.
Oh.
Sozo Tsuri.
So. Oh, amazing spot. Oh,
Put your finger in. Catch a fish with your finger.
yeah. Too cold. Shinja.
Kiosuke.
Oh, take care.
We're kind of in a big long queue to get in one of these tents, but we just found one that was open, so Natsuki improvised with both his fingers and his imagination. What do you reckon? When you can't get the real thing, you use your imagination. It's very quiet though, it is eerily quiet. There's like 200 tents behind us and I can't hear a damn thing. Maybe they're fishing in silence. No, you're going to scare the fish away otherwise. Yeah, just make a loud noise. Fish don't like loud noises, especially Natsuki doing his wolf song. Yeah, he sounded like puts his fingers in the water. Yeah, that sounded very sus.
Tent means the sex. Very busy.
Leaving behind the suspiciously quiet tents of Lake Aka, we ventured 2 hours further northeast, ever deeper, into the subarctic wilderness of Hokkaido, to the isolated town of Rikubetsu, officially the coldest town in all of Japan, where the temperature has dropped as terrifyingly low as minus 38 degrees Celsius, albeit thankfully not today. While Rikubetsu may not be Japan's most northern town, the combination of Siberian winds and snow, and its location sandwiched between the Tokachi and Daisetsuan mountain ranges, are attributed to the formidably cold temperatures. Despite its remote location, every February, Rikubetsu holds the Shibaru Festival, featuring a human cold resistance test. Participants spend 10 hours at temperatures around minus 25 throughout the night, either inside an igloo or a self-brought tent, without any form of external heating. What could possibly go wrong? What a terrible shame we've missed it. Oh no. But starving and desperately in need of food after a long journey, our first port of call is Rikubetsu train station, closed for the winter months.
So here we are, guys, Rikubetsu, the coldest town in all of Japan. Ironically, it's the warmest day of our trip.
Unbelievable.
It's minus 2 degrees here, which is actually pretty good by the standards of some of the temperatures we faced on this trip, but it had the coldest recorded temperature in Japan ever, here, right here.
Right where we're standing.
Right on this very spot, minus 38.4 degrees Celsius.
That is brutal.
But actually Hokkaido's changing, like when we met Takeshi, the guy with the dog sleds, he said that the temperature in Hokkaido has been rising quite a lot over the years, to the point that last year in March, the snow had just sort of melted. Usually it melts sort of around May, so
Will it be the coldest town in Japan for much longer? Quite possibly not.
Yeah, minus 38.
Yeah.
It's about as cold as your heart.
Alright, Joe, you're the cultural knowledge extraordinaire. What you got?
Is that my title? Okay, so Rikubetsu comes from the Ainu word Rikunbe, excuse my Ainu pronunciation, which means river on a high place. So we're at a pretty high altitude right now, kind of on a plateau of a mountain range, and as of a few months ago, I believe the population here is around 2,200, so surprising amount of people still living around here.
So the local food here in Nikubetsu is deer meat, perhaps unsurprisingly, and they've got this deer ragu sauce, if that's what you want. Actually, it's quite good in the photo.
That was
Normal.
maybe.
I've never had deer, I don't think. I'd try
Good
it.
tampak. And the jerky
Oh, it's a deer jerky. Wow. We've got to try that. You want to try?
and the beer.
And beer.
Beer and the deer.
Yeah. Maybe Natsuki won't be driving for the rest of the day. At last, a breakthrough. We found the one open restaurant in Nikubetsu, serving up the two dishes you would want on a cold day in Japan, ramen and soup curry. And it's a ramen broth with a twist, using chicken in the soup in favour of pork.
I'm so glad we're finally actually able to get a bowl of ramen in Hokkaido.
Yeah, we haven't had that much on this trip. Usually, on the many trips we've had before, we've had sweet corn, we've had miso. This one's actually a chicken broth that I've got. It's chicken and soy sauce. It's got a very creamy texture to it that's quite hard to come by. What have you guys got?
I got miso garlic.
Miso
Good.
garlic.
Garlic is best.
For the most part, we haven't really found anything in Nikubetsu though. We've had the train station over there, which tells you all the different temperatures of what it's like here throughout the week. And then we've got this. Other than that, we haven't really found much. To find out what life is like living in Japan's coldest town, Natsuki chats with Atsushi Kudo, the cheerful owner of the local ramen shop.
これ北海道のどの辺に位置するんでしょうか。
北海道ね、道東、東側、真ん中ぐらい。
真ん中
内陸、海に面してない場所なんでね。
ああ、海がない。だから寒い。
そう、盆地で、そう、寒い。
で、その陸別って僕らは一番寒いって聞いたんですけど、まだ今日はいい方か。
そう。
Oh, that goes here. It's really hard to bring the whole dial black. There's no point to that. 3, 2, 3 on this side, 2 on the other side. What's this interview say?
ね、道東、東。
これ北
You guys got?
I got miso garlic.
Miso
Good.
garlic.
Garlic is best.
For the most part, we haven't really found anything in Nikubetsu though. We've had the train station over there, which tells you all the different temperatures of what it's like here throughout the week. And then we've got this. Other than that, we haven't really found much. To find out what life is like living in Japan's coldest town, Natsuki chats with Atsushi Kudo, the cheerful owner of the local ramen shop.
これ北海道のどの辺に位置するんでしょうか。
北海道ね、道東、東側、真ん中ぐらい。
真ん中。
内陸、海に面してない場所なんでね。
ああ、海がない。だから寒いっていう。
そう、盆地で、そう、寒い。
で、その陸別って僕らは一番寒いって聞いたんですけど、まだ今日はいい方。
そう、今日はあったかい。
そのマイナス32度の世界ってどんな感じ？
吐く息でまつげも凍って、
凍っちゃう。
そうパリパリになる。
Kudo-san may have endured the coldest temperatures in all of Japan, but nothing can prepare him for the elaborate rap battle that's about to commence on the train tracks of Rikubetsu Station.
Dr. Jerry-da! We're at Rikubetsu Station right now.
So, yeah, the station's shut for many months of the year.
Yes, including this time of year. As you can see, there is about 2 feet of snow right here,
Over the track.
and all over this side of the track as well. So this is the optimal location for an rap battle.
So, Pete, you're the judge. What are you going to be looking for on this rap battle? How are you going to decide the winner?
We're looking for lyrics, we're looking with creativity, and most importantly, I'm not going to be doing this one alone. We have Ian over here with the backpack, and there are over 2,000 people watching who are going to vote which DJ brings the best raps. Let's see who wins. Journey across Japan 5, the frozen frontier. I got DJ Jelly and MC Rhapsody. Hey, yo, let's go!
Yo, yeah, Yo, straight out of Kush, you're a boss so cold, I'll blow you away like a snowstorm. No warmth, I'm cutting your heat off. Sleep fall, the slip your feet, fall in your asses. Oh, B-Rocks finna put the song in the charts, yo. Be warned, there's no more Mr. Nice. Kick your igloo wall down, call me Mr. Ice. Think twice before you try to act like some kind of hero, cause I'll kick your ass from Sapporo to I'll be hero. Whoa, take it easy, let's keep it chill. Negative Celsius, but we still on kill. I'm jerked out in this blizzard like I'm dressed to kill. This ain't a drill, I'm ill, got the skills to kill all of the phonies. Welcome to my ceremony. Sniff a line of powder snow like my name was Tony. Your rhymes baloney, fooled you like calzone. Know me, the illest rapper end of the motherfucking story. Shut it down! Good luck.
Go on, Natsuki, you've got an audience. Oh, everybody's watching now.
Hey, yo, that track was so fire, it smelled the snow around my feet. Next up is MC Rapsky. Let's see what he's got. What's fucked up? Catch a cold winter. Hot spot, Hokkaido. Don, Armageddon. Hot spot, Hokkaido. ISO, CISO, gimme sauce. Hot spot in Hokkaido. Don't let me fussle on miso ramen. Hot spot in Hokkaido. Sapporo, miso. Oh yeah. Oh, hey, hold him back. The tracks have been wrapped. Let's hear what the people had to say.
Both were fire. MC Rapsky was amazing. Pete won. Absolute fire, brought a tear to my eye at bar stage. Jelly with the lyrics, Rapsky for the style and flow.
Yo, the votes are in, and let me tell you, this was a scorcher with a narrow victory. The winner is The final punishment is he's got to remove his shirt and roll around in this beautiful, beautiful powdery snow.
All right,
Oh, God.
it's time for you
That's
to
cool,
go into the snow.
Friend B.
No.
Friendship. Peter. Oh, God, Peter.
It's like, go on, get channel.
I don't listen.
Here we go.
I don't listen. No. Friend.
Hokkaido. Thank you. This time, journey across Japan.
8, 9, 10,
Shit, man. You want the fuck?
He's a tough man, right?
I could never do that, dude. What a fucking trooper. Oh man, I feel really bad for Natsuki actually.
You should.
Nobody deserves
Really
that.
mean thing.
Painful, with I don't better.
No touch. I think no touch feeling.
In many ways, Natsuki was lucky that we chose to do this in Nikubetsu, where it's supposed to be the coldest town, but it's only -2 here today, whereas where we were yesterday, it was -10 or 12, so could have been a lot more painful, a lot more dangerous, dare I say. But that concludes our trip to the coldest town in Japan. Now onwards to the coastal town of Abashiri. Honestly, who needs Ikubetsu's Winter Cold Endurance Festival when you can lose a rap battle and just roll around in the snow instead? Our last stop, though, is the coastal town of Abashiri, home to an icebreaker ship and a notorious prison, which we plan to explore on the final leg of our journey. But for now, there's just one last food left to taste.
Okay.
Well, good evening, or just in time to try some deer jerky in our fantastically small hotel room. Last night we stayed in a room fit for a sultan. Tonight we stay in a room barely fit for 2 people. Cheers, everyone. Well done to the rappers.
Yeah, well done. Congratulations.
And Natsuki has a gift for us. So look at this. Ooh.
All right.
One for you.
Number
One for
2.
you. They look very
Extreme Gold, Part 1.
3, 2, 1.
That's Extreme Gold's built. Here is gold. Alright, gold. Gold especially is big. There's what the native plastic looks like.
Like a turkey.
Here's my gold paint.
No white goods, no flavour, like a turkey.
Again, Tamiya, TS87 Titanium Gold.
But for now, guys, we'll see you again in the next episode of Journey Across Japan, Frozen
Possessions and
Frontiers.
spots looking
Cheers,
at
everyone.
this that need to be touched up. I'll have to deal with those later because I'm building right now. So, here we go. Again.
Free cut! That's an insane amount of my hair!
Okay, start off with pretty much the same construction. A 9 and 8. Oh yeah, the difference in this really would have been from having another pass on it. Oof.
I think that I can be confident in saying that Disneyland is easily the best theme park in the United States. There are just so many rides and attractions packed into this park, and they are often the best versions of similar attractions that Disney has built elsewhere. Well, perhaps with the exception of the Haunted Mansion, which I do actually think is slightly better in the Magic Kingdom. What makes Disneyland better isn't just its versions of rides though, but also the smaller, more unique offerings found throughout the park. Its Fantasyland dark rides are easily some of my favorites, and while I'm disappointed that a version of the Matterhorn never came to Epcot with a Swiss pavilion, I do like that it's unique only to Disneyland. There is also a charm to the park that is absent elsewhere, filled with small details that you can't really find at any other park, with only really Animal Kingdom and Islands of Adventure being the only contenders. However, with this level of detail, there's also an element of weirdness to the park that I continue to find surprising every visit. While the majority of Disney parks today feel extremely corporate, with their attractions feeling very plastic, as if produced by a committee of executives, it's the small, weird things that go unnoticed by most park guests in Disneyland that really stand out to me. So while I'm not going to go over every detail that I find interesting, I do want you to come explore the weirder side of Disneyland with me, diving into the small, understated elements that leave a larger impact than you might suspect. I think that when you walk into the Magic Kingdom, Main Street USA is correctly regarded as one of the most iconic theme park lands to have ever existed. The Magic Kingdom is certainly the most popular theme park in the world, and Main Street, of course, leaves a lasting impact on many. However, while it is very well themed, it does not even begin to touch Disneyland's Main Street. I would actually posit that Disneyland's Main Street is so much better themed that the Magic Kingdom version looks completely unthemed in comparison. Everywhere you go, there's so much more detail found throughout its shops and restaurants, and there's quite a bit more entertainment and rideable vehicles moving throughout. It even has great moments with Mr. Lincoln located in the Opera House, And while it's not my favorite show, it's certainly better than waiting 2 hours to meet Mickey in the equivalent building in the Magic Kingdom. With all of this detail comes elements of weirdness though, and one of our first stops is going to be the Main Street Cinema.
Oh, okay.
Inside, you can find a round room playing classic Disney shorts, but what stands out to me is the ticket clerk, a creepy mannequin who goes by the name of Tilly. There's not really anything more to this, but it's just a bit strange to come across. Speaking of mannequins, you can find a few others throughout the Emporium. What I like about many of the rooms throughout this area is that they are all distinctly themed and packed with detail that the Magic Kingdom version lacks, with one of my favorite details being the train that moves around the toy section. However, in the main room of the Emporium itself, there are a number of interesting and slightly unsettling mannequins that you can spot if you look up. Above one of the doorways, a woman appears to be plucking a quill from a pet parrot. Over one of the register areas, a scene portrays a girl looking disgusted at her reflection as a tailor and who I presume is her mother stand nearby. Finally, this last scene located across from the woman with the parrot is less clear to me, but is still quite interesting. This used to portray a scared-looking man with a barber coming at him with a razor, but he now appears to have been replaced with a bewildered woman, and the barber is now holding a shirt. These scenes are, well, in the theme of the video, quite weird, but that's exactly what I like about them. Our last stop for strange details on Main Street is Chester Drawers, which appears to be a haberdashery. What makes this little shop strange is its busts, with one being an elegant owl and the other a dapper dog. Again, small elements of the larger theming, but funny and impactful enough that I thought that they were worth pointing out. Oh, by the way, if you found the video interesting thus far, you can do me a favor by hitting the like button. While we're not quite done with Main Street yet, I do want to lump in some of its elements with other coin-operated machines that you can find throughout the park. Just inside the Candy Palace, you'll find a number of machines, including a strength tester, and this peculiar electricity machine. The idea behind it is to hold your hands on the metal rods as long as possible as they vibrate violently, simulating the idea of electrocuting you, and if you hold onto the gauge until it reaches its maximum strength, you win, I suppose? Nearby, there is also a fortune teller named Esmeralda, who moves around a bit, but there wasn't any sound, leading me to believe that the machine just wasn't working correctly. After she's done moving, the machine spits out a card with Esmeralda's prophecy, which is just a random fortune, also including magic numbers as well. In the back of the Candy Palace, a marionette machine plays I've Got No Strings, allowing you to press buttons to move Pinocchio's hands and feet in sync with the song. It's mildly entertaining and a fun thing to spend a quarter on. While there are plenty of pressed penny machines located throughout the park, one of the more unique ones has to be in Critter Country. This particular machine is designed to look like the facade of Splash Mountain, and while it wasn't working when I filmed it, I did see that it drops a coin down the waterfall when you purchase one. I'm assuming that this won't stick around too long with the closure of the ride though, but I thought that its unique presentation was worth pointing out. Backtracking a bit to Adventureland, if you go into South Sea Traders, which also doubles as the eating area for Bengal Barbecue, you can find another fortune teller sitting out in the middle. This one is a shrunken head of a British man named Shrunken Ned, Jungle Witch Doctor. When you insert the coin and put your hand on the palm reader, he will come to life, cycling through a few different sayings. For example, one of his spiels congratulates you on being the star attraction of the Jungle Banquet, where you'll be sacrificed as the main course. Until that time though, he states that you'll receive a letter in the mail describing what to wear and what your last meal should be.
Only part of this
he then prescribes you instructions for good health in the meantime, and the machine spits out a random card with nonsense on it. Another interaction I've had with him starts with him exclaiming that you've arrived for your appointment a day early. He then starts rambling about how it's his birthday, and how the other doctors use his head as a ball to play golf with. He then concludes by telling you to come back tomorrow so that he can cure the myriad of diseases that you've obviously acquired, and finally berates you for not buying a calendar as the machine spits out another nonsense prescription to keep you in good health until your next visit. Moving over to New Orleans Square, the final fortune teller is located between Pieces of 8 and Curios and Curiosities. Known as Fortune Red, inserting a coin into the machine triggers Yo-Ho, a pirate's life for me, as the pirate points at the map and it lights up, revealing the way to hidden treasure. Once the song concludes, this machine also spits out a card, which is certainly more interesting than Esmeralda or Shrunken Ned. On one side, Fortune Red gives a prediction which is likely also random, but on the flip side, the card provides a fact about pirates. I'm not sure if this is randomized, as I only used this machine once, but the card I got explained the origin of the Jolly Roger and other pirate flags, also providing a selection of others that were used and naming which captains that they belonged to. I did like this particular card a bit more than the others because it was somewhat educational. Finally, the last interesting machine I would like to speak about is located in Frontierland. If you walk into Pioneer Mercantile and walk to the back of the shop, another coin-operated marionette can be found. In this case, it's Woody's Hoedown, where the machine plays the theme from Woody's Roundup, and you can use the buttons to move his hands and feet and sing to the song. It's not the most interesting attraction, but none of them really are on their own. What makes them worth mentioning is that they're just quirky little attractions that work to enhance an already great park, feeling like hidden finds that add depth to the theming, which is something that Disneyland does very well just about everywhere.
Do I have a copper pin? I thought I did. Maybe I zoomed over one.
Staying in Frontierland, some of my favorite details can be found on the ships that sail around the rivers of America. For example, if you board the Mark Twain, the park's steam paddler, you can explore the different decks and find a variety of interesting elements that enhance the experience in small ways. The lower deck allows you to get a view of the machinery that powers the ship, and while you can see this on the Liberty Square riverboat at the Magic Kingdom as well, the Mark Twain continues to offer more. On the middle deck, you can walk through a small room with mirrors, and while I don't know its purpose, it's a nice immersive addition that you can't find on the Magic Kingdom riverboat. Finally, on the top deck, there's a small covered seating area with a few pictures of sailing ships and a steamboat, celebrating early American nautical travel. These details are just small elements of the Mark Twain, but again, it's the small things that really add a lot of depth and immersion to the Disneyland experience, allowing you to feel as if you discovered something that goes unnoticed by the majority of park guests. If you didn't board the Mark Twain, then you always have the alternative of the sailing ship Columbia, which is a replica of the first American ship to circumnavigate the globe in 1790. I find this to be the more interesting vessel, I think maybe because it's unique to Disneyland, but it is also a fundamentally different experience than the Mark Twain because of its unique narration, and a cast member will actually fire a blank from one of the cannons during the voyage.
Inspect the cannon piece.
Riders first board the Columbia by walking up the steps to the brow and board the upper deck. You could certainly spend the entire voyage up here, but if you choose to go below deck, you'll see a part of the ship that I don't think most guests will ever experience. Here, you'll find a pretty detailed exhibit of how the ship may have existed, allowing you to gain a bit of insight into what sailing with it might have been like. You'll see areas meant for cooking, food storage, lodging, and a variety of other elements scattered throughout. Certain cabins are also labeled for certain crew members as well. Maybe this and the Mark Twain aren't particularly weird, but since we're on the topic of details in Disneyland, I thought that these immersive aspects that often go unnoticed were worth mentioning. However, one last element of Frontierland I would like to briefly discuss is the shooting exposition. I feel like I don't really need to explain what a shooting arcade is, but this is certainly one of the better ones that I've experienced. The scene is intended to be a western graveyard overlooking a town, and hitting the targets will cause a number of interesting effects to trigger. I don't see the need to go over every element, but a few of my favorites include the skeleton coming up out of the grave, the Ghost Rider traversing the sky, the minecart rolling out from the mine, and I like to see the various animals move or appear as well.
Alright.
Part of the fun with something like this is discovering what will happen when you hit the targets, so I encourage you to try this out if you happen to find yourself at the park. Like the other coin-operated enterprises, or weird details that you can find throughout, it's something very small like this that can have a large impact on your day, allowing you to feel as if you've discovered something that most people won't notice. These elements only help to immerse you into what is already one of the best themed parks in the world, and I thought that covering them probably makes for a different but still interesting video. As always, if you haven't already done so, you can do me a favor by hitting the like button. If you're interested in videos like this, but haven't yet hit the subscribe button with bell notification, you can do so to be alerted to new videos as they release.
Okay. The next one. Oh, I was going to do that roundup, wasn't I?
One of the most fun things about building a new LEGO set is seeing the clever building techniques that the designer came up with,
This is not what I was looking for. But let's watch this anyway.
and figuring out ways to use these techniques in your own builds. Today,
Okay,
we're
this one
looking at
has
some
both the
subtle
heads.
but incredibly clever
several heads,
solutions
I
that
guess.
LEGO has put into sets over the years.
Yeah, all the phases.
One of the
Okay.
smallest but cleverest uses for a piece that's popped up in a few different sets is this fishbowl. This little guy has made a splash in the Sesame Street, Cinderella's Castle, and Seinfeld sets, and if you haven't noticed, it's actually nothing more than just a clear minifigure head with a unique print. This means you can turn basically any minifigure into a walking, talking fish with just a single headpiece. This set of Poe Dameron's X-Wing fighter isn't anything special at first glance. With just 72 pieces, this polybag was a fun enough build, but there's really nothing else unique about it. That is, until you take a closer look at the back of the ship. It's a bit hard to spot with the images on the front of the packaging, but if you look closely, you can notice that the engines are the same bright orange as the body, and instead of creating a new piece for a little polybag, the designer, Henrik Anderson, noticed that the existing LEGO carrot piece was the perfect size, shape, and color to make it the perfect solution here. A carrot-powered X-Wing? Sure, why not? Speaking of food, LEGO has a pretty long history of using tasty treats in very unusual ways. The LEGO Coin Piggy Bank came out in 2015 with 148 parts. It is a functional piggy bank, which is cool, and it does have one very notable creative addition. Up on the admittedly adorable face, this little guy has some pretty expressive eyebrows. Zoom in a bit, and it becomes apparent that something is definitely a little weird though. Yep, those are hot dogs. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's a little weird to use a hot dog as part of a pig. Or maybe that's exactly the point. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. LEGO has managed to sneak in a few hot dogs into other sets as well, and without the external horror of dressing a pig in pork. The Wildflower Banquet is an amazingly colorful set with 939 pieces used to make some very impressive displays. But buried deep in this set is something that we've never really seen before, a green hot dog. Now, while the thought of a bright green sausage might be enough to make your stomach turn, these were used as stems for some of the smaller flowers in the package. This set also had a few other unique parts like pink and purple admirals' hats, flame yellow and violet paddles, as well as bright blue and bright green crowns. Overall, the botanical sets are really great examples of just how versatile LEGO pieces can be. LEGO's creativity goes both ways though. For example, in both the Pizza Van and the Heart Lake Shopping Mall sets, we can see minifigures enjoying some delicious crispy fries. Sadly, LEGO has never given us an official pack of fries as a LEGO piece, so they had to make do with a simple yellow crystal. It certainly looks the part, but maybe not the best choice for your teeth. Now, it is amazing what just a quick color swap can do to a piece's look
and function, but sometimes less is more. In 2021's police station set, we got a set packed with detail. One of my favorite little bits has got to be the stonework along the roof. You may recognize these pieces as wolf heads that appear in many of the LEGO Minecraft sets. By turning them upside down, designer Chris McVeigh was able to create a truly one-of-a-kind build. It might not seem like much, but building a good-looking masonry can be a real challenge, and this set provided one of the most unique solutions I've ever seen. Now, this same set had at least one other clever piece usage. The bushes out front look absolutely great, and they are some of the best I've ever seen. By stacking a few offset dark green pieces like these, or paint splatter pieces is what I like to call them, it becomes super easy to get some incredible potted plants that are perfect minifigure scale. LEGO's Winter Village sets are one of the company's most beloved ongoing themes. Every year, these sets manage to surprise and delight with just how creatively they capture the feeling of walking in a winter wonderland. 2010's Winter Village Bakery set is a great addition to any holiday display. With 687 pieces, this box contained a small bakery, an ice skating rink, a ticket counter, a horse-drawn carriage, and 7 minifigures. Well, technically 7.5. It seems that someone got a little overconfident on the ice and managed to crash face first into a snowbank. While the detail itself is just a funny little gag, the way the designer pulled it off is just great. By using an inverted roof tile and a few clips, some minifigure legs can be easily attached to give the illusion of a poor minifigure forever frozen in a snowbank. Another great feature of this set is the Christmas lights hanging above the bakery's windows and hanging over the ice rink. These are super simple, just a rope, some clips, and some transparent studs, but the effect is perfect. Another take on some hanging lights can be found in the Elf Clubhouse set from 2020. It's effectively the same design, but they've replaced the clips and studs with some holders with tubes and globes. This is admittedly a small change, but it really does make a big difference in the final result. Sometimes, though, getting clever isn't about using pieces where they don't belong, but rather it's more about doing something unexpected with them. The LEGO Bonsai Tree and Ship in a Bottle sets are some of the best display pieces on the market today, but they have something more subtle in common. They both feature some of LEGO's strangest steps. At various points in each build, you're presented with a step that calls for a few hundred pieces. This alone is enough to make even the most seasoned builder pause and think about what they're doing with their afternoon. But once the initial shock wears off, the step is actually about as easy as anything could ever be. Just dump a bag of studs in, and you're ready to call it a day. While these might be some of LEGO's most piece-intensive steps, they're also some of the easiest that I've ever come across. If you can think of any other crazy instructions, let me know in the comments. Now, any shelf with both of these sets is just looking for the LEGO globe as a companion. This is one of LEGO's most unique, functional, and technical sets that the company has ever released, and it needed a few tricks to get this thing onto shelves. For starters, it's a sphere. That's a task that is vastly difficult to do with a toy that's so blocky. But the designer Samuel Johnson managed to pull it off by turning the sphere into a series of flat segments to be folded together, kind of like the reverse of peeling an orange. While this does make the build itself a bit tedious, the end result is certainly worth the effort. While building this set, though, many people find themselves a bit stumped at what seems to be a completely unnecessary addition, a set of wheels. At first, many thought this was some kind of extra support or something to help it spin, but the answer is even simpler. Turns out that this is just used as some extra weight to keep the globe resting in a nice display position. It helps the set always return to the perfect display angle. Now, how about one of my favorite sets from the past couple years? The Medieval Blacksmith from 2021 makes heavy use of these angled tile pieces to create what might just be the single best-looking roof that LEGO has ever put out in a set. While this isn't exactly genius in the way that some of the other building techniques in this video were, this result is simply breathtaking. Garmadon's Dark Fortress is one of Ninjago's most iconic sets and also one of my all-time favorites. I love the skeleton-themed spider that's attached to the front of the fortress, but it's a lot more than just a decoration. You see, although this arachnid only has 6 legs, which always confused me, the simple yet clever technique used to launch this spooky creature from the fortress wall is still one of my favorites to this day. There's a pretty large red button on the back of the fortress build, and if you press that red button in, the spider will jump off the wall of the fortress and onto the ground, where it's sure to surprise any ninja that may be approaching. But that's not the only thing that may scare the ninja whenever they're in the underworld, because in this set there's also a coffin included, and when you press down on this red brick, the top of the coffin pops off and a skeleton comes out. Talk about a jump scare. This is a simple but also a really neat play feature, especially considering that this set is from 2011. And luckily, many of the incredible sets that we looked at in this video are still available online. Use the YouTube shopping product links in the description to check them out. What other genius building techniques have you spotted in LEGO sets? Comment below. Click here to see the most valuable LEGO misprints, and don't forget to subscribe for more LEGO videos.
Big ass sticker. Let's see, the face itself is silver, the eyes are green, the surrounding bit is red. Alright, where is... there we go.
Before we begin, thank you very much to _Zeus for rejoining the Patreon campaign. Good to see your name again. Thank you so much for the contribution, for the support. Alright, so I'm going to be quick about it this time because, as I said in a previous video, a friend of mine started a GoFundMe for a mutual friend of ours who is in a really bad situation. He was forcibly kicked out of his home. He's living out of his car. He's not a bum, don't get me wrong. He's got a job, but he also has car payment, phone payment, etc., insurance, etc., while he's trying to save up for a down payment for an apartment. So the GoFundMe is to try and get that out of the way so we can get him back into a home and get a roof over his head as fast as possible. Because it's a situation no one deserves to be in, much less someone like him who has spent, 20 years as an educator. And if anyone does not get what they deserve, it's educators. So yeah, thank you so much for the ones who have chipped in already. If you can chip in anything, I would appreciate it. Visit the link in the description. If you cannot, please at least share the link to someone you think could. Right now, it's just whatever we can do for him, whatever helps, and I thank you all for it. Alright, serious stuff out of the way. We can talk silly nonsense of fictional robots now. So, for the news roundup today, I'm going to try and be quick. I say that every time, but I literally mean it this time because there's a lot of news to cover and a lot that we have to go over in some detail, so we're going to hit a few things very quickly. This one we have to explain a little bit. So this was the big thing that I noticed this week. The leaks for the next season of Fortnite are out, and yeah, Optimus Prime is on the loading screen. It is if not the Rise of the Beast design, is very close to it. He is wielding the axe that I have seen him wield with other toys from the line, so, okay, yeah, very Rise of the Beast inspired. Optimus Prime is one of those entries I'm surprised took this long to get into Fortnite because they have a deal with Hasbro. Storm Shadow, or not Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is in Fortnite. So they've done it, and Hasbro has the license for Fortnite toys, so, this makes all the sense in the world. Now, for the Fortnite people in the crowd, for those who aren't into Fortnite, I apologize for starting off with this. I promise, real toys are coming soon. But for the Fortnite people, this is confirmed. It is not a secret skin. It's part of the Battle Pass, which does mean that it's going to get a whole bunch of alternate skins, a whole bunch of different alternate color schemes, which I'm sure Hasbro is going to throw onto whatever toy they want to make it some kind of Fortnite collaborative Would not shock me in the least. For the non-Fortnite people, just keep in mind, it basically just means you buy the Battle Pass, you play for long enough, and eventually you get to play Optimus Prime. That's essentially what's going to be happening next season. Yeah, I will admit, I still play when I can. I used to play Trios. They took Trios out. I'm still angry. But, no, this is cool. It's actually cool. It's long overdue. I wish it was G1, because G1 would have a lot of extra, like, fun flair stuff. But, I'll take it. This also likely means Bumblebee is probably going to be something in the item shop at some point. Usually when a collaborative is in the Battle Pass, a companion piece or two is released as something you just buy without being part of the Battle Pass. So expect him, potentially Mirage or Scourge. We'll see. But don't think this is the end. This might be the beginning of a big collab, for all we know. Okay, real toys now. We're going to talk real toys now. Sorry for starting out with Fortnite, but hey, it is kind of a big deal for Transformers to join what is like the largest video game collaboration of all time. Alright, we finally got our look at the Rise of the Beast Command and Convert animatronic Optimus Primal, and it's about as basic as we assumed it would be. It's pretty simplistic in how it transforms. It really just stands up and flips the ape head over to reveal Optimus Primal's normal head. It's very lackluster. It is basically, design-wise, it is RoboSend light. It does not respond to vocal commands. It responds to sound. So if you speak loudly, it's going to be more defensive and aggressive. If you speak more softly, it'll respond a little bit more friendly. There's buttons to unlock certain attacks or certain specific commands. So you've got there's play pattern here, but it is very much RoboSend light as far as what it goes for. It's $150, by the way, because it's just a ton of electronic sounds and lights and animatronic motors to make it all work. And it's not the right voice actor. It is not Ron Perlman. It is not anybody. It is generic voice number one. But yeah, it's gonna be the biggest toy for Rise of the Beast, I feel. Outside of like at least stuff that's officially coming from Hasbro. So I'm sure it'll do well for some. Alright. So when they announced the potentials, the rumors came out for what else was coming out in Walmart's G2 line. Mirage was one of them, and my god, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This thing looks like an abomination, and I love it. Man, it's just like a screaming like watermelon bubblegum flavor looking boy. Yeah, this is again from the Walmart G2 line, which is all based on unreleased art color repaints for Generation 1 toys that were supposed to be in G2. And I think that's an interesting concept for a line. And yeah, like this Mirage is it's going to be very hard for this Mirage to turn invisible, I feel. I feel like if he turns invisible, it's because the light does not want to touch him. But I love it. I love it. I want it. I want it. Yeah. This subline is going to be insane, and I want it. I kind of do. All right. We have in-hand shots. This, of course. Like as soon as I posted my news roundup last week, immediately after, someone got their hands on Armada Megatron, just to show it off, just when it was too late for me. And it pretty much just looks like Armada Megatron with a higher level of articulation, if we're going to be completely honest. Like, a lot of the details, the gimmicks are not there, but the details of the vehicle mode are. So it very much, spot on, looks just like the Armada character. Articulation looks really solid. It's got a lot of good posability going on. Of course it does. It's a modern figure. The shoulders do something weird I don't like. Let's see if there's a good shot of it somewhere in all these little screen caps. Okay, there we go. The shoulders are doing this weird thing where, I assume because of the transformation, it was better for Hasbro to mount the shoulders on the back side of the armor rather than against the torso, which means the shoulder joint is facing this way instead of this way. Now, in a functional standpoint, it should still function correctly. It should still, like, actually have all the range of a universal shoulder joint. It's just going to feel really weird to manipulate the shoulder. I don't know, they've done this a handful of times. I've never liked it when they do it. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, everything else about this thing looks fantastic. It does have a lot of ports on it that does make me start to think, yes, we might actually be getting Tidal Wave at a smaller price point. It also, yeah, it can do the tank turret forward thing as well. That reveals ports on the back, which might have to do with Tidal Wave. It's just 5mm ports, by the way. I'm going to point that out. It's not like any like heavy click thing that you would need for like big combining bots. So maybe it's still going to be a Titan, maybe not. We will find out. But yeah, it's looking really solid. It's looking really solid. Like apparently, like Armada Optimus is really good. So yeah, so 3 out of 4 on the Armada toys so far. It looks like. I'll pick it up. I'll review it. Of course, I will. There's a running change to your Studio Series 100 Deluxe Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. You see the one on the left and then the one on the right? Yeah, the new one is featuring a fully painted face. Now, someone did point out that the artwork does not have a fully painted face. I'd like to more believe that to be a thing of the artwork, not the depiction. This is, more traditional of how we expect Bumblebee to look. So, yeah, if you didn't like the, half-painted face he had before, you can get a fully painted face now. I'm not sure why that was a weird running change, but it exists. So, if you see a stack of them, kind of comb through them. Make sure you get the version you want. Alright, potato quality photo time. This is the point where we go through Takara Tomy leaks, which always consists of images that are no longer or taller than 300 pixels. And this is for another Beast Wars Again 2-pack, and this time it is Tigatron and Black Arachnia. These 2-packs always have some kind of connective tissue to them of why these two are packed together. This one feels like it's based on the trigger. Even though Black Arachnia is not in her silver color scheme, that 2-parter was essentially Tigatron trying to protect the island and Black Arachnia trying to take it over. So yeah, thematically it makes sense for these two. Again, I've not gone in for any of these yet because they are expensive for what are essentially just minor upgrades to the paint jobs, but I will admit they look fantastic. They do look really, really good. It's one of those things where if I knew these were coming out, I might have skipped a lot of Kingdom so I could have the better versions of these later on, because my alternative is to sell off all the Kingdom ones bit by bit, and that's a lot more trouble than just, being patient and waiting for the good stuff. But hey, it is what it is. They've got more on the way. Still waiting to see the rest of the cast, which I'm sure at this point is definitely coming. More potato quality photos. The last train bot has been revealed for the Masterpiece MPG line. It is Kane, and Kane becomes the pelvis, the crotch of the figure, which is always the most contentious and risky of a combiner. It looks like they did okay. He's got a very large lower half, which seems like that's going to be it seems like he's going to use his pelvis to make the pelvis of Raiden. So we'll see how well that works. I might be wrong. It's kind of hard to tell on these images. Every time I hear about the Masterpiece trains, it is because someone else managed to break theirs. Again, I feel like, I'll just keep saying it. I'll keep saying it. The in-hand stuff I hear is not good, and I really do not like how Takara Tomy has marketed this, considering its expense. But the date says 6/5, so June 5th, we might be getting a full reveal of this, and hopefully a full reveal of Raiden to find out what you're investing over $1,000 in as a combiner. More potato quality. This is the last one of our potato quality for the day. And this one is another. This one's more interesting. Again, marked for June 5th, so we'll see if that actually comes out. It is a Masterpiece Hoist, which is exceptionally obvious considering Trailbreaker came out a while ago. You can see he's got an extended long crane arm that works on the back. He's got all the junk that his original G1 work truck mode had. Comes with a bunch of accessories, including like the alternate bumper thing that Trailbreaker did, a few tools he was using in G1, and the alien mask from Hoist Goes Hollywood.
Alright, there is
so it's him and Sunstreaker that both have that mask now. Did Trax have the mask too? I can't remember if all three of them did. But we are working on a whole collection of alien robots from that episode. So yeah, Hoist fans, you're gonna be happy soon. All right, we're done with potato quality, but we can still we get back to my proper zoom level. All right, this is the behind the scenes for Bumblebee's Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series SS-102 Rise of the Beast Voyager Optimus Prime.
That, they can make legs or arms.
These names. The cool part about this is that because everyone has been comparing it to the Bumblebee Optimus Voyager toy, everyone has been kind of curious just how much of it is shared between the two, between size, engineering, details, parts especially, because they are very similar, but it does look like they've gone as far as they could from the Bumblebee movie Optimus. He's sleeker, his proportions are a little bit closer to the movie. You see this, like the head and the shoulders are a little bit smaller. He's taller as a result. You see the back still has similar design details to it. Much cleaner. Much cleaner. It's a much lower profile robot. Now, from these images, I don't know how much of the transformation scheme they share. I'm seeing areas on the Bumblebee movie Prime, like below the chest, where there are hinges that are absent on the Rise of the Beast one. So, for all I know, this is a different transformation scheme entirely. These are the only parts reused from the existing Voyager Optimus, and it's really just some internal details on the chest and the tires. That's literally it. Everything else seems to be new tooling, even though the two designs do share a lot. 4 molds going into this one, as you can see here. Potentially 5, because I don't see the yellow in that guide. But yeah, this thing has actually changed up quite a bit since one of the times where I think we got something really useful out of these behind-the-scenes looks, because a lot of people were asking about that. So, yeah, it's still weird. It's only going to be a Buzzworthy Bumblebee toy, but hey, at the very least, it is looking really, really good. Alright, we also, just to continue some of the Rise of the Beast news, now I will tell you, there's a ton of commercials out now, all with a little bit of new footage. I'm not going to spoil anything here, so we're not going to talk about any of the commercials. We will mention that the director did confirm that the movie takes place in a rebooted universe. Whether that reboot universe continues off of Bumblebee, most likely it does, or if it is completely fresh from this one and Bumblebee is still a very loose prequel to the 07 movie, all that is still weird. Point being, this is not connected to the Bayverse, despite what the producer says. Yeah, so good to have confirmation. Good to have confirmation.
Is this better red?
With a little bit more movie news, I mentioned in a video very recently that I forgot if Transformers 1 was 2014, 2015. It's 2014, and it was July, but now it's going to be September. So it's always interesting to me what goes on in movies where they go like, you know what, we need 2 more months to work on this movie. Like you've had like 2-3 years to work on it, and now you suddenly need 2. What's gonna change in 2 months? That's the kind of weird, like, really? Kind of question in my head. But suffice to say, we are going to be getting Transformers 1 fall of next year. So on point for those for our fully animated live-action Transformers movie. RoboSen is back at it. Alright, we have the official images and product information for their Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. Does not transform like their Big G1 Prime does. But for $700, you do get something voiced by Peter Cullen, so lights and sounds. It's got all of the moving components of the normal RoboSen toy. Full app interaction, you can customize its actions, you can trigger its sound effects, etc., etc. You can do a lot of the RoboSen stuff as a robot with it. It just doesn't transform. So yeah, if that is worth $700 for you to have a little tiny version of Peter Cullen stomping around on your desk, then that is your call. Also, if you are more the Bumblebee inclined, RoboSend does have an official reveal now for its Bumblebee, which seems to function the exact same way. Aesthetically, it is going to match with their G1 Prime, but it is, again, non-transforming. It just walks around, follows your commands. I mean, if they're going the same route, I assume they're going to get the original VA for Bumblebee to come back and do the voice, which would be cool. We'll see how this one turns out. We need more detail on it. All we got was a brief reveal. Speaking of brief reveal, yeah, Kotobukiya looks like they're going to be doing a retool of their Optimus Prime, Bishoujo line. Nemesis Prime, the Decepticon Unicronian Herald. Unicronian is like the first time I think I've ever seen that written on a box for Transformers. That's interesting. It looks like it's just going to be essentially a straight repaint with an adjusted face to have a more evil expression. Okay, if you like your evil girls, there you go. I still like the fact that the Kotobukiya Bishoujo line is not like overly sexualized. It's just like, this is a character kind of flavored as this is just an anime girl flavored as a Transformer, and it's not nearly as creepy as it could be. So I give them credit for that. Not my thing, but for the collectors out there, there's going to be an evil Prime. There's going to be an evil female Prime now. Okay, this was weird. So, a company called Perfect Toys, which is ironic given what they're about to produce, announced that they are going to be doing Rise of the Beast toys for Optimus and Bumblebee in the style of these like little auto-changing figurines. Now, these are essentially the exact same things that I have seen in mall kiosks for years, and I've seen so many rip-off Transformers. I've seen like airplane, like not even like cool jets, but like 747s that do this, and it just has an Optimus Prime head for no reason. These are like the most common like fake Transformers you're going to find. Visit a mall. I know you haven't in years, but visit a mall, check the kiosks, you're going to find these things. They're doing ones for past movie figures, so we see like Age of Extinction Optimus Prime is in there, as well as the Bumblebee. And then, yeah, we have Rise of the Beast ones too. But these are actually officially licensed, and apparently have like actual RC function, which, interesting. Weird that these are actually official, considering how many unofficial ones there are of these. And when you call yourself Perfect Toys, I think these cheap little like things are largely terrible. Probably not the best thing to call perfect. Oh well. Something that is perfect. This thing is adorable. So, Symbiote Studios revealed their San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It is a little plush of Slag. Oh, it's so cute. It's a little cute little plushy Triceratops. Oh, it's adorable. Let's see. I don't know if they did. I want to say I saw them do a Grimlock too, so it would make sense for them to go straight to Slag or Slug, depending on the licensing, I guess, depending on the trademark they're allowed to use. No, it's fun. It's just fun. Like, if they just keep doing this, if they held the license long enough to do plushies of all 5 Dinobots, that would be kind of amazing. Other weird stuff for the week. Icon Heroes Transformers Kawaii Pins. So, little collectible enamel pins. They are 3-packed together. 3 Autobots, 3 Decepticons. These cute little chibi anime style. Almost Funko Pop akin in design aesthetic. Starscream is having a day. Like, I'm not sure what's going on in Starscream's world, but it's not good. So, pin collectors. I know pin collecting is a big thing these days. Here you go, 6 for the Transformer world. Now, let's end off on some things you can get when you are going to your Transformers movie. For starters, if you go to see it at an AMC theater, you will have the opportunity to get a Optimus Prime truck mode popcorn tin. missed out. So the closest AMC theater to me is over an hour drive away. That was too far for me to be willing to go just to get the D20 popcorn bucket for the Dungeons & Dragons movie. Still upset I didn't do that, because now it's like over 150 bucks on eBay to get one. So that's me missing out. But this is not quite my style. This just seems like it'd just be a big box that I wish would transform. You know, with the big D20, like, it's just a giant D20, and that's actually kind of cool. I can use it to store all my other D20s. But this is just like an Optimus Prime that doesn't transform into robot mode. I think to myself, if I want this on my shelf, all I have to do is transform my Masterpiece Optimus and put it on a shelf. So, like, this just seems like a weird box, but cool for those who want it. And they had to go with the vehicle mode because if you go to a Cinemark theater, you're going to be able to get an Optimus Prime head tub. This is very akin to a lot of novelty popcorn buckets I've seen where, you know, they're just the character head that opens up. There are lights. You know, there are lights in the bucket, so that is cool. So you get, like, glowing eyes if you want. And yeah, it just opens up into either a storage unit or, you know, a popcorn holder. The closest Cinemark theater to me is a 2.5-hour drive. Fortunately, I have a friend who will be hooking me up for this one. I learned from the D20. I will actually, I will make arrangements ahead of time to make sure that I get it. Alright, so that is the news roundup for the day. As usual, I've gone way over what I expected to, because, hey, there's a live-action movie coming out. There's a lot to cover. So, hopefully, once the movie is out, things will slow down, and we'll kind of get to, like, a normal rhythm around here again. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking around with these longer videos. I do appreciate it. And I will see you next time.
We're gonna have to get your names for the books. You, pale one.
William Current.
Roll me a deception check.
Ooh, love a good hottest trash video.
Bonsoiri, and welcome to Ches Garbage, where we roast only the finest trash each anime season has to offer. I know that many of you were upset at the lack of isekai on our winter menu, but worry not. The trash chefs of the anime industry have heard your complaints and overcompensated like there's no tomorrow, which there may actually not be. For those of you brave enough to try our dessert, that anime is truly vile. But before we get there, we'll be stuffing down 5 courses of isekai badness, plus a harem horse d'oeuvres to get you started. And we've even got some non-portal fantasy trash in stock as a substitute for the isekai intolerant among you. We've got a mountain of trash to dig into this evening, so let's get digging. Our first anime of the evening may not be an isekai, but if you told me the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses fell out of a time warp, I'd believe it. If you miss the humor and vibes of harems from the mid-2000s, but not their limp-dicked, wet-blanket protagonists, this one's for you. After inheriting his grandmother's house and the attached beachside cafe, Tokyo U finance douche Hayato Kasukabe is shocked to discover the property comes with 5 nubile young squatters who Granny took in to fill the void. But not their limp dick. Our first anime of the evening may not be an isekai, but if you told me the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses fell out of a time warp, I'd believe it. If you miss the humor and vibes of harems from the mid-2000s, but not their limp-dicked, wet-blanket protagonists, this one's for you. After inheriting his grandmother's house and the attached beachside cafe, Tokyo U finance douche Hayato Kasukabe is shocked to discover the property comes with 5 nubile young squatters who Granny took in to fill the void after he left. All of whom will do anything, perhaps even that, to stop him from turning the place into a beachside parking lot. But if you've seen even one of these shows before, you won't be shocked, even a little, by the personalities in his harem starter pack. You got the angy but sometimes not one, the dumb sports one, the cute yet crafty one, the cool aloof one who's secretly a softie, and the shy nice one who's secretly a freak. I initially put this one in the bargain bin of the ones once to watch because I was thoroughly impressed by the quality of its first episode's plot, and the story of that episode hinted at some decent character writing to match. Unfortunately, that plot degrades somewhat along with the rest of the animation from episode 2 onward, but the character chemistry stays strong, and the overarching story about maintaining a small business and a tight-knit community and carrying on a lost loved one's legacy with a quirky new-found family is interesting and unusually adult for this ostensibly adult-oriented genre. That story still gets interrupted on a regular basis by nonsensical jokes about the girls taking their defining traits to absurd extremes and/or flashing Protag-kun for no reason in particular. This show ain't out to rock the harem anime boat, but all those girls have hidden depths to them that are revealed in time, and Hayato's actually got a personality and a bit of a backbone, which makes for a refreshing change of pace from your typical Keitaro or Kazuya. Cafe Terrace and its goddesses doesn't quite have the same special spark as Tezuka Productions' last harem thing, Quintessential Quintuplets, but if you're looking for a tasty snack, this show has 5. I give it 2 modest restaurant waste bins full of slightly stale breadsticks and half-eaten cake. The first of your 5 courses for this evening, the pottage, attempts to freshen up the otherworldly formula that even trash connoisseurs are growing tired of at this point in a simple yet potentially effective way, by doubling the heck down. Summoned to another world for a second time asks what would happen if a typical Japanese youth who got called to be the savior of a fantastical parallel plane, then sent back home as a reward for his good deeds, got called back again to do it all over, this time in front of all his classmates, with all the OP skills that he had the first time, of course. It's an Isekai New Game Plus, if you will, or Ari Ferretta without any of the setup or interesting personality, if you won't. Now, at first, the answers it finds to that question are fairly entertaining, like when the aloof captain of the Royal Guard assigned to train all the classmates realizes who Protag-kun is and immediately goes full Konosuba darkness horny sub-mode for him, begging him to sit on her. That's pretty fun, as are the bits of him sitting around with his old adventuring party, reminiscing about the good old days and trying to figure out how to bring the good old days back, in moderation. Unfortunately, from episode 2 onward, in which Protag-kun agrees to escort a jeweler's granddaughter to the Demon Queen to return a brooch that he originally gave her as a present, but then she had to get it sent out for repairs, it quickly becomes apparent that catching up with old pals is his primary method of solving all the anime's problems. Which I guess makes sense. I mean, he's already saved the world and made friends with all the important people, so all he's got to do is call in some favors with everyone who puts respect on his name and flex on the few fools who don't until the day is saved, but that doesn't make it a fun or interesting plot device. The concept of this show certainly has potential, but the execution here is just excruciatingly boring. Isekai again gets one wastebasket full of emails to former co-workers clearing up minor miscommunications that were printed out and framed for some reason. I left that last show on the menu for the Isekai purists, but I'd honestly recommend substituting it for our I can't believe it's not Isekai option, The Legendary Hero is Dead. A light yet deeply trashy dish steeped in the delicious flavors of anime girl thigh and daikon radish, which are practically indistinguishable from certain camera angles once you slip a stocking on them. That's our hero, not to be confused with the legendary one, Radish Farmer Toka Scott's favorite hobby, because when you're a thigh gap fetishist in a small town and your caked up childhood friend won't give you the time of day because she has a crush on the legendary hero, there's not much else to do. He does get a chance to win Yuna's heart when the village is attacked by a demon, but before he can lure it into a pit trap with sumptuous barbecue, the hero swoops in to save the day first, then swiftly gets killed in that pit trap because, like all shonen protag, hashtags, Sion Blandon's a sucker for meat. Fortunately for the otherwise doomed world, Sion's traveling companion, Henri the Necromancer, has a backup plan and plants the soul of the clever warrior who bested the hero in combat by accident inside his magically destined body to carry on his destiny of sealing off the demon realm for good. Unfortunately, not only is Toka a total scumbag, he's also got the power level of a literal baby and can't even muster the magic to keep the skin from falling off his borrowed bones, let alone get his legendary sword up. Not even when he needs to get it up to save that childhood friend who seems to have that Fire Force girl's curse where she can't keep her clothes on for any given fight scene. Now, as it's finding its feet, this anime's humor is pretty bog standard, if a touch more morbid than your typical ecchi fantasy harem thing, and its pacing remains kind of a mess throughout. But by the time we're introduced to the villainous thigh bone fetishist who wants to bring equality to the world by turning everyone into sexy skeletons, it's revealed its own very distinct and fun personality that seriously sets it apart from most of the genre and most isekai, and fully lives up to its infectious banger of an OP. I give The Legendary Hero is Dead 4 flaming coffins, the trash can for people, full of stupid sexy root vegetables and bootleg Necronomicons. For the Poisson course, we're, of course, serving up the fishiest title of the season, My One-Hit Kill Sister, an anime that gives you everything that name promises and so much more, both in the sense that it is exponentially incestier than you can possibly imagine, starring an older sister down so bad for her little bro that she literally beats herself into a coma just to rope him again after his fateful date with Truck-kun, but also in the sense that it goes way harder than a show with that concept has any right to. As far as jokes go, the one of puny little protag-kun paying OPO Nachon in heavy petting sessions to protect him from big scary monsters becomes routine like halfway through episode 1. The bit where everyone else gives him credit for all the cool stuff she does and all the ladies are constantly gagging for him is even more predictable than that, and adding a second, slightly less OP demonic older sister figure who also wants to jump his bones as her rival doesn't exactly mix things up. But then, anytime you're tempted to roll your eyes at any of that, you risk missing some of spring's most insanely beautiful action Sakuga. When OPO Nachon f***s an orc or dragon or slightly less OP demonic surrogate Nachon up, she f***s them up like Goku going to town on a dude who just killed Krillin. And that's just for insulting her beloved little bro. Woe betide any fool who actually lays a hand on him or gets in the way of him laying hands on her. Fans of gorgeously gratuitous cartoon violence will not want to miss this one. Even if the quality of the production and animation in the last couple episodes doesn't quite live up to the first few, the storyboards and general compositions of the action scenes are still phenomenal. I give My One-Hit Kill Sister 3 dumpsters full of flaming piles of money and Alabama marriage licenses. If the true meat of the trashy isekai experience lies in how it panders to the wishes and anxieties of its nerdy loser target audience, then by far the meatiest entry that I can serve you this season has got to be I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world, too. In introducing its protag-kun Yuya, Cheat Skill makes sure that target audience knows exactly 2 things about him. Firstly, he's a really nice guy. The nicest guy, TM, who will bravely step in to save a beautiful milady when she's being hit on and grabbed at by convenience store thugs, and no one else will say a word. Secondly, he is the fattest guy, and also the ugliest, possibly even uglier than he is fat, and everyone bullies him for being so fat and ugly, especially his own family, because they're all hot, and his uggo-chubboness brings great shame upon them. Also, his grandpa, who was the only person who ever saw past his ugly fatness to like him ever, bequeathed his house to him, and only him, which made his family hate him even more and disown him harder. So now he lives alone, subsisting on a part-time job that he loses on middle school graduation day because it conflicted with his scheduled beating by his siblings for being too fat and ugly. So he punches the bathroom wall and in the process uncovers his grandpa's secret treasure room with an isekai portal in it, like you do, and upon stepping through that portal, he magically inherits another house, this one magic, on the other side, which also has a bunch of OP magic weapons in it, and he gets some OP skills just for signing the deed. And by using those weapons and skills to kill the OP monsters that can't cross his OP magic fence, he levels up a whole bunch, causing him to spontaneously become superhuman and also tall, skinny, and hot when he goes to bed. Which of course pisses off his bullies and siblings even more when they see him again in high school, but before they can beat him up for that, the milady that he nice guyed out of trouble earlier shows up in a limo, and it turns out she's the daughter of the principal of the bestest school in Tokyo, where he's invited because he's such a nice guy and he doesn't think he'll fit in there, but then everyone wants to be his friend. Not long after that, he goes to the mall to get some nice clothes to go with his new nice face and body, and gets scouted to be a model by a photo shoot that happens to be there, but then the male model that he was brought in to replace shows up and is a jerk and a bully and hits on a milady model who didn't want to be hit on, so he beats that guy up and everyone claps. Then his middle school bullies show up to his new high school with their motorcycle gang to beat him up and kidnap the hot principal's daughter who wants to be his girlfriend, but he beats them up instead and everyone claps. Then he gets a magic puppy dog in the other world and takes it for a walk in the park where he runs into that milady, plus the model milady, who start low-key catfighting over him, but then a purse snatcher snatches a purse, so he and his dog have to catch him, and say it with me now, everyone claps. Also, while all that's happening in the real world, a princess in the other world is on his ass to marry her, and every monster that he kills just conveniently drops very specific and useful things like a portable transforming magic hot tub. I honestly don't know if I've ever seen an isekai this nakedly self-indulgent that wasn't hentai. Heck, the way it's barely animated, with loads of digital parallax camera pans over oddly shiny static artwork, it's easy to mistake for hentai, even if the most sexual thing Cheat Skill IRL actually does is the author furiously rubbing his own self-insert protag-kun raw. The friction of which specifically is what ignited the full-blown 5-alarm dumpster fire rating that I have chosen to award this glorious piece of anime. That, regrettably, makes a perfect segue into the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. So I'm forced to commit a slight fox pass here by serving the season's cheesiest dish before the sorbet. If your main gripe about a typical isekai is that protag-kun doesn't get his dick ridden nearly enough, metaphorically speaking, then this is the anime for you. If you mean that literally, try Slave Harem. After getting between a convenience store robber's knife and some cute girls, Kazuya Shina finds himself reborn as Kine von Silford, third son of a generic noble family in a generic fantasy world where he enjoys a generic upbringing, learning magic on the down low as he's doted on by his parents and a sister so obsessed with him that she literally has a special obsessed with her brother title on her status screen, until his baptism at age 5, when all 7 of the world's gods give him level 10 blessings. Which is perhaps a little bit OP, considering that most people get 1 or 2 blessings max, and their levels are supposed to cap out at 5. So even when his parents hire both a dollar store heiress Grey Rat and a dollar store Roxy Sylphie hybrid to tutor him in magic and adventuring and stuff, all they can really do is sit on the sidelines talking about how awesome Kind Sama is, while he goes around one-shotting everything from goblins to dragons to Adventurers Guild bullies. And that's just the start. All told, like, half this anime's entire runtime is just people praising Kind for things he did, or maybe, if the writers are feeling spicy and want to attempt some comedy, complaining that he did stuff too awesomely, with the occasional break for a cute rich girl to beg him to marry her for being so awesome. The first two of those actually happen at the same time, when he saves the 10-year-old third princess and her duke's daughter bestie from a whole mess of orcs, which also results in the king giving him an entire barony and a mansion. And it's a touch uncomfortable watching a child who's mentally at least in his mid-20s hit on and lose sleep over those regal grade schoolers, but the show does eventually balance that out, sorta not at all, with an age gap in the other direction by having the big titty fight slut captain of the guard, who's also a 300-year-old elvish princess, fall in love with him after he...
Okay, that is X-Train Thunder. I think the cow catcher's supposed to stay folded up till the fan mode. Let's put my markers away. There's a little bit more work I need to do on this thing, but that can wait. Like I just kind of transitioned from painting to, from stickering to painting as the build went on. Kind of inconsistent here. Okay, let's look at our lineup. X-Train Silver, X-Train Gold, X-Train Fire, X-Train Thunder. So I definitely went back and forth on the metallic paints. I might have to see if I can paint the metallic blue over the regular blue or vice versa to get to try and match the sticker hue, because the regular blue just does not cut it for this. Anyway, that's the X-Trains, of course. So here's the thing. Fire and Thunder can combine with, well, either of them honestly, but here they are with Pat Kaiser. They can work as arms. And which way would they go on? I do not recall which way they're supposed to go on. Oh, anyone tell me? The big box tell me? It does not. Let me see if I got a picture somewhere. Okay. Use this thing I'm probably not going to use. Okay, so Fire makes the right arm. Should I fold that down first? That falls down. And you would swap this out for the ball joint there. Swap that out, and you have, well, one arm out of the two arms. That is their action feature. That does that. Maybe not supposed to swap that out. Okay, so you can make Pat Kaiser trains. Articulation is... I think I did that wrong. Based on the picture, I did not put this in. I did not do that correctly. Oh, I see how it's supposed to be. Like that. Okay, okay. Okay. Put your head back in there. So you can make Pat Kaiser trains. They do this thing, whatever this thing is. Little bit of a bend there, not much. It ain't a great combination. I'm not super fond of it. It doesn't get used much, but it is a possibility. I don't believe they've ever been used individually, only in combination like that. Double, so yeah. Now, see, you can also do Lupin Kaiser trains. Same thing, just swap out the arms. It's not much to speak of, but it is a formation you can use. I don't remember if this was actually used in the show or not. I don't remember if this was actually used on the show or not. I keep forgetting I talk too fast. But there it is. Yeah. Now, for the main event, Silver, Fire, and Thunder can combine with X-Train Gold and Silver, of course, end-to-end, but also as a robot. So put them back in that form. Do that. I zoom along, and then they can combine. Do my combination instructions here. Didn't notice that it fell off. God damn it. The reason that the left arm specifically keeps falling off is that the hinge here is cracked. I need to repair it. So it's just looser. Alright. Lots of work that needs to be done on this, but let's just go ahead and do what needs to be done. That is VSX. Alright. So to start out with, X-Train Silver zips on in here into X-Train Gold. And they kind of meet in the middle. That locks in. Now you have two choices here. I'll do that one first. This comes off. Because that's where all the heads are stored. I can also never even remember which forms for which version of him, but let's see what we got here. So that comes down, that comes down. And then again, these would do that. These do their action function. I guess that comes out to be to let the elbow move, or what? So flip this out just to be a little more articulate of an elbow. I think that's where the elbow's supposed to be. Oh, that's supposed to... Am I supposed to fold up here? No. I need to consult my box art. Oh, you know what? I've done this backwards, I believe. Possibly. That's right. Okay, I remember. That's right. So it would never go like that. I messed up. Okay, let's try this again. So, they combine this over here, this over here. So then you would put thunder here. Okay, that's what it is. That's right, okay, so you have to put the... Okay, put them on the opposite sides. Okay, then this comes up. And these come down. Okay, I see. And that's when you would, I guess you could, I don't want to make any holes there. You can flip out the ball joints here. And here. And stick this on the front like this. Let me see here. Okay, so that is the head for this form. Squinch those in a bit more. Such a big head. Okay. This is Ex-Emperor Gunner, which I think corresponds to Lupin X. No, sorry, to Patranger X. So he's got... Here's the other two. Let me show you off, so I'll see this way. Just that he's got articulation there. He's got a knee joint. It's weird, but it's, you know, what they got to do for how this transforms. So he's got a bit of a knee there. You have to paint that piece gold. Better gold. Yeah, it's weird. You gotta, due to how this thing transforms, they definitely had to make some concessions. So I'm not gonna be too hard on it for that. Arms can do all that stuff. Head can turn left and right. Underneath there is the head for the other form, which honestly I think looks better. I'm supposed to use this head for this form. Okay, so that's VS Ex-Emperor Gunner. Now let's do the other form, which is Ex-Emperor. I don't even remember what it's called. Need this, do I? It's gonna offsets it, and they can go straight in there. Okay, yeah. It doesn't matter too much. Okay, now let's do the other way around. They can combine the other way into Ex-Emperor slash. Okay, so this goes the other way around. Get you your angles here. And this one, the gun goes on the back. And the head does this. I do have that backwards. Shit. I have that backwards. Okay, this is supposed to be... This is slash. I just had the wrong heads, I guess. This is slash. Is it? Okay, so the gold trains on top should be Gunner. If I sound confused, it's because I am. Didn't go there. Okay, that is Gunner. And then let's flip it over and do slash. That's still gonna break before the rest of this. Okay. Down, down, down. God damn it. Okay, so it's supposed to be in this one for the... Okay, that makes a little more sense than this one for that form. Okay. I'll roll with it. Okay. And this goes along the back. No, along the chest piece. Stays right there. Okay. That is Ex-Emperor Slash. I do not recall why it is named as such. Doesn't seem particularly slashy to me. But what you gonna do? It's got a hand that does this, and a hand that does this. Hard to say which one I like better. They're both pretty, I'd say, equal to me. But there they be. Either one's great, but they're okay. They definitely look better as costumes, as they usually do. Alright, now for the grand finale. X-Trains can combine with Lupin, Kaiser, or with all the VS vehicles thus far to create something even better. Subjectively better. Mm-hmm. Bring that back in. Come on. There we go. Oof. I like the way that one's sounding. Okay, slide these back out. And get my trains back in order. This is supposed to go. This is supposed to go. Or it does just stick out. Okay. Whatever. Alright.
Brandon Law. Sup.
Oh, hey. Welcome to the show. I'm actually almost done here. But, okay. This is about to combine them all into Good Tokuru Striker VSX. So, let me take Pat Kaiser apart. Put your good striker aside because I don't need only. It's only supposed to be one. So, what we got here? Okay. Take the head thing off again, and the cannon.
Brandon Law. Since the text to voice translator is hilarious, swig GD swoody motherfucker.
Okay, these go on the hips for stability, I guess. Interesting. Okay. Fire and thunder become the feet.
Brandon Law. I have a very strong love/hate relationship with model kits, especially flame toys.
That's fair. That is very fair. They come and they go. Model kits in general, not specifically flame toys. Oh, there. Okay. It extends and then tabs in. Okay. And then over here, same thing. Touch green. to Thunder. And this whole contraption attaches here. And then that's how the red dial fighter jumps on. Okay. And you make the head, top of the head here. That's really awkward. That is so weird. This always was a bit of a, like, is a smaller clusterfuck than some of the clusterfucks, but it's still a clusterfuck. If that makes sense. And then you attach here. No. Blue attaches. What's it saying to do here? This side faces the back. Okay. Blue attaches up here. And that attaches to the back of the wing? I'm supposed to attach... Oh, that's interesting. Trying to figure out where they want things to attach here. It's very strange. Okay, and then... Okay. Move that out a bit. That is not very... Okay. Then all its weird glory, there is... oh, there's one piece here. Not in all its glory yet. That goes there. This goes along the... Oh, that goes along the back just to stabilize everything. Right. That's literally your only purpose in this formation. What is your function? I make you more stable. Okay, that locks the arms in. And there is Gutokuru Kaiser VS. That allows that to move around a little bit. Okay. So technically the arms are locked in, but you can unpeg them just to move them around. That's supposed to be extended all the way out. I say fuck that. I can actually just peg that back right in there. Okay, so it loses some of the articulation that it had as an individual robot, but it can still bend the knees a little bit. What are those there for? It cannot bend the knees. It's not allowed to bend the knees. Fuck you. That's the only reason those are there, is to keep the knees from bending. Doesn't improve much on the articulation of the deluxe then. You got elbows, outwards and forwards. You can still do things with the hands there. You can unpeg that from that side and rotate it outwards. Of course, the ones on the shoulder can still work as normal arms. I've been wondering, because I've had these guys for 2 years, and I was wondering how and what the attachment point was in this combination. I'm very disappointed now that it's just that. So, let me show you what we got here. This is the arm joint for the normal robot, right there on the outside of the wing. It folds into Good Striker's wing, and there's this plug here that has just been used to tab the wing in when it's folded up. Now that's being used as there's a tab on the arm here that's the same size. That tabs into the shoulder socket, and that's now the arm joint, and it just attaches to the back cannon as a second to stabilize it. ish, basically. This one, I don't know. It looks good as a suit. They all look good as suits. This ain't a great one as far as super combinations go. I think I like the I mean, I don't know. I'll sleep on it, but I definitely think the combinations with the other strikers, with Siren Striker and the other one, the flying one, are a little bit better than this. I need to glue that sticker down. So yeah, that is the X-Trains is overall a very weird deal. I might like them better individually. Their robot combination isn't great just due to the gimmick, and then their combined mode here isn't great because it limits your articulation. So I don't know. Lupin versus Pat was a weird series to begin with. Very ambitious. I mean, at least it wasn't a... I guess this is still a 6, 7, 9, 10... This is still an 11-in-1 combination, technically. But, like, it's... There's been bigger clusterfucks out there, so... I don't know. Count your blessings, I suppose? I don't know. This formation is not going to be one of my favorite Minipla Super Robots. It's not as bad as... the one with Dodekaio, Wild Tovsai Dodeka King. That one is a brick. Barely better than the Deluxe. This, at least, you can do stuff with it. But I'm not impressed. I think the best in standard Minipla, what's been the best combination? I gotta think about that. Let's see, 2016 was Wild Tosai Dodeka King. 2017 is Q-Tamagene. Q-Tamagene's okay, I guess. 2018 is this. 2019, I don't have the components for it, but I think it's just the same. Well, I don't know. I don't know what Kishiryuo that one does. 2020 didn't have a combination really. 21 was what are they called? The Super Zenkaiya, whatever it was called. And then 2022 had Golden Onitaijin Kiwame. I think whatever the combination with Doragoku, Onitaijin, and the bird was whatever that one was. That was a decent combination. Minipla was jank, but better than this because that was just last year. This year's combination, super combination, is going to be 20 components, so we'll see how well the Minipla pulls that off. I don't think it's going to be great, but that is what we got. So let me take this apart once again, and for anybody who missed it, show you how they look individually. And then we'll call it a night. X-Train Gold, X-Train Silver, X-Train Fire and Thunder. Let's just get everything lined up. First of all, just to show you the whole lineup. And then I'll combine the trains back into the robot formation. That's gonna break at some point. Where did it that went? All right. Put this up. I do not have the. I mean, I do have. I did, as you saw me build them a few weeks ago. Obviously, I have the first set of auxiliary vehicles, the Cyclone and Cyclone, Scissors, and Blade Dial Fighters, as well as the Trigger Machine Biker, Crane, and Drill. I have all those, but they're not with me here. I'll take a full fleet photo at some point. But here's my vehicles. Good strikers. I can't see anybody out of frame now. Okay. Here they all are. These combine like so. Something's not right here. Oh, I got that the wrong way around, no wonder. Goes in from this side, and there it locks in. Okay. That pops off. And you put your gold train here, your silver train here. And just decide what way you're going to make it. I think it kind of looks a little bit better. If I can remember which one was which, that'd be helpful. Gunner has silver trains on the bottom. That goes there. I'm gonna mess it up the first time. Okay, that goes there. And then this makes the head. It's a big head. As I was demonstrating earlier, you can do the legs. That'll pop off, and then you can make it. You've got a knee there. Same thing on the side. Maybe the best, but like I said, with the way this is designed, you kind of got to work with what you got, what the design gives you. Elbows, kind of, you can pull these out to get the belt joints. I will not do that right now just because of time. But there is Emperor Gunner. You flip it over, change the head to make Emperor slash. And here it is in comparison with Lupinranger. Let me transform that back real quick. There's with Lupinranger, and here comes Patranger. Dummy head. Okay. So there is Emperor with Lupinranger and Patranger. Let's set them like this so you can see them on your angle. Ta-da! And I just lost another one of his things. Oh, I'm gonna have to properly paint those. Those stickers have now lost their adhesion after all these years now. Okay. So I don't know. I'll do a proper photo shoot again once my new phone gets in. It was a decent build. I need to do some more custom paint work on this to make it really pop. I think it's okay, honestly, visually. But yeah, need to make it do some more paint work just to get them looking their best, and then we'll take it from there. Next week, or Friday, or not Friday, Saturday probably. I'm probably just going to continue the Minipla trend. Maybe. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say, this Friday I'm going to build Choo Choo's Demi Trainer from the HG High Grade Gundam Witch from Mercury Choo Choo's Demi Trainer set, because I want to build that sooner than later. I did build the Gundam Aerial, as I mentioned at the start of the stream. I built the Gundam Aerial during the con this past weekend. So I'll go ahead and build Choo Choo's Demi Trainer. Going to alternate between Minipla kits and, you know, proper full-size, full-scale kits. I got a bunch of stuff I want to build, so yeah. I think after this, the only thing left in my queue is the strikers. Let's see, I have the Wave 5 set of Trigger Machine, Splash, Magic Dial Fighter, and then Siren Striker and the other striker. Blitz Striker? No. What is it? It's gonna bug me. Let me look for it here. Magic Dial Fighter. Sleeping Catch Magic. Trigger Machine Splash. Lupin Magnum. No. Where was it? Let me find this. Hang on. Oh, here it is. Siren Striker, and that one I knew. Victory Striker, that's the name. Right, Siren Striker and Victory Striker. Okay, so yeah, that's what I've got. That's what I'll build in a couple weeks. That's the last set from Lupin vs. Patranger that I've got to build. There is the Jackpot Striker out there. It was released in a wave with the 3 dial fighters, so you could build a complete Jackpot Lupin Kaiser, or whatever it was called, if you hadn't picked up the previous waves. So it was released that way, and I might get that. I don't know. I might just get it on its own and have it combined with my Lupin vehicles, and then I can. I mean, I have 2 good strikers, but obviously, I don't know. I might get that one eventually, but for the time being, I only have 1 more. That's my last thing to build. Or my last thing for my last haul. I do believe that wave 5, the EX wave, with those 5 sets. So I'm not short on things to build. I'm rambling now. I'm sorry. Let me start over. A few months ago, I received a large shipment of stuff to build. It was all of this. It was most of the Jew-Oger stuff, all the Lupin vs. Patranger stuff I didn't already have, and then Kishiryuo. I believe that was it. Anything else? 17. Oh, and Buteo from Q Ranger. So, yeah, I ordered all that, and I have now, I think I've built everything. Let's see, I think now with this out of the way, I do believe that the thing I'm going to build next time, the EX wave of the Trigger Machine Splash, Magic Dial Fighter, Siren Striker, Victory Striker, and Lupin Magnum. That'll be the last of that wave, of that shipment that I have to build. But I'll be doing that in 2 weeks, because next week I'm going to build a Gundam set from the Gundam Witch from Mercury, Choo Choo's Demi Trainer, and then I've also got some other stuff on my backlog. I bought a Master Grade Unicorn Gundam, which is one of my holy grails. I bought that, so I really want to do that. And then I got a Figure Standard Kuga and Tri-Chaser 2000 bike over at the convention this past weekend, so I'll be building those eventually. I still have a Flame Toys IDW Megatron sitting in my closet to build. The Shokugan modeling project Ninja Man should be coming in soon, and I think that's everything. Might have some stuff that hasn't shipped yet. I think I ordered a replacement for some stuff. I've got things on the back burner, of course. Actually, it is June, so the Minipla Shoe Gods should be coming in soon, from King Oger. So that's something to look forward to as well. But I'll get to all that when the time comes. Thank you all very much for coming out, and I will see you next time.